Alright, again we're going to look for greatest common factor. The smallest number I have here is 6. And 6 does go into 12 and 18. On the last problem, I apologize for not multiplying that through correctly. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 2 is 12. And 6 times 1 is 6. Now I can factor this much more easily. This is called factoring completely. And we could still come up with the correct solutions to our quadratic when we start to do that section if we did not take out the greatest common factor. But it takes us way longer to factor these trinomials having such large coefficients out front. So notice how much easier it is to factor this now that it's 3 because there's only one choice. And then there's only one choice for the factor behind it. So it's not going to take me near as long to factor it and guess and check. I want a negative 2, so I need a negative 3 and a positive 1. So I have a positive 1 and a negative 3. And this would be my solution. My next example here, there is no greatest common factor. This one has lots of choices, but I'm going to try 4x and 5x. I always try that first, then I would try the 10 and the 2 next. This one doesn't have as many choices. I only have 1. I either have 3 and 1 or 1 and 3. When I first put them in, I get 15 and 4. I'm not going to get 17. I'm not throwing those out as absolute not possibles without flip-flopping them first. Now I get, when I multiply the inner terms of 5x and a 12x, that does give me a positive 17, so I can feel good about moving on. This next example, if I look for a greatest common factor, there is no greatest common factor. There are only 2 factors that give me 3 though. That would be 3x times x. Now I need to get a 6, so I'm going to try 3 times 2 gives me 6. That's 3x and 6x. That's not good enough. So I'll flip-flop them around. I'll try 2 and 3, so that gives me 2x and a 9x. I need a negative 7, so if I have a negative 9 and a positive 2, that gives me a negative 7, as well as a negative sum behind here because I have a positive times a negative. Last example here, I'm going to look for a greatest common factor again. This one, the smallest number is 18. 18 doesn't go into those. 9 doesn't go into those. 6 doesn't go into these two. 3 does, though. So I'll take out a 3 out of all these terms, and then I'll get ready to factor. I do have a couple choices for 6x squared. However, I always try the ones that are closest together first. So I'm going to try the 3x and the 2x first. And I'm going to try instead of the 10 and the 1 first, I'm going to try the 2 and the 5. So if I put the 2 and the 5 in here, sometimes I get lucky and I get the right answer right away. This gives me 15 and 4. I do need a negative product, so one of those has to be negative. So that would be positive, and this would be negative. So I need a negative 4x and a positive 15.